Congratulations, you got married to your US citizen spouse. Now you need to have proof of marriage that you need to submit to the USCIS. So what are they? In this video, we are going to talk about that. So let's dive in and let the journey begin. Hello everyone, good day. My name is Emmary. Welcome to Powerful Couple Journey, where we talk about immigration process to do it yourself. Now, here in the US, if you got married to your US citizen spouse, you will have forms to submit, and that is your Form I-130 and or your Form I-485, whichever is important, but I would suggest to really have the Form I-130. So what are the proof of marriage that you can submit to the USCIS? To prove your marriage to the USCIS, you need to provide a variety of evidences and documents that are the following: marriage certificate, joint financial documents, affidavits, joint utility bills, and other evidences like pictures, your wedding photos, your plane tickets, and other co-mingling that you can show to the USCIS that you are really a real couple. Like for example, here in the US, when we got married in Central Florida, we do really make sure that we have 4 copies of our marriage certificate or marriage license from the clerk of court. Or what you can do is to just get at least one and then photocopy the rest and notarize it. That way, once they wanted to have an original copy, you can send it to the USCIS while you still have your own copy that is notarized. That way, that is still a proof that that one right there is legit as your document. Based on my own experience as a J1 teacher with 212E rule, married to my spouse, which is a US citizen, this is what we have. We got our joint bank accounts to show that we have co-mingling. You don't need to have a big amount. When we had it, we are engaged during that time. We put $50 each in our joint bank account, and that is where we have started to put more money. That way we could use it for our utility bills like our phone bills or water bill, our groceries, and all other stuff that is showing co-mingling. And that is really important. That way they see that your relationship is real and then you are living together. Because if you are living in different states, that could be a red flag. But assuming that you could really provide a lot of evidences, not just your marriage certificate or your joint bank accounts, then that will be a good deal for you. We also have our joint property ownership. When we were still dating, my boyfriend during that time, which is now my husband, he is so good to help me get a car since I still have my student license and then he already has his driver license. So what he did was he went with me to the dealership, and he is the first owner of my Toyota and I'm the second owner. The moment I have my driver's license, we are still co-partners when it comes to that. I'm the sole person who's using the car and I'm paying for it, but then in the contract we already have co-signed together for our joint ownership of property, which is our first car. When it comes to our joint utility bills, we were able to have a rental house somewhere in Central Florida, and that is close to the school where I work at as a private school teacher. So what we did is, the moment we have a rental house, of course here in the US as a practice, you need to have your down payment, you need to have the first rent and the last rent, and at the same time you need to have that deposit. So once we have that one, we make sure that the utility bills will be in both of our names. That way it's already showing that we are really our partners, and we wanted to start our relationship where there is co-ownership, and joint utility bills is one way to show that you are really are doing your due diligence as a couple, and that is showing proof of your marriage that is legal, unique, and at the same time legit. Your affidavits is also important, like letters from friends and family. You could also have letters from your co-workers. Then you could also have letters from your church pastor that married you, if ever. That way, it is showing that you don't only have the partnership together, but you have eyes that could really vouch your real relationship. We did this one during the time when we submitted our J1 waiver, and that really solidifies our information and our legitimacy when it comes to our marriage and to our waiver, since we have letters from friends and family that could vouch our relationship. Other evidences that you could also have would be your joint tax returns. And during this time when we got married in the year 2021, we had presented ourselves separately during the time. Then the moment we have our tax return in 2022, we already have to put joint filing. That way we're showing that we are married and all our finances are joined together. That way it's really showing that we live in the same house, we are serious and sincere with this relationship, and that is showing to the USCIS the proof of our marriage is really solidified with all these evidences and affidavits that we have in our hands. Always think of this, the USCIS is not your friend. They really wanted to scrutinize everything. So make sure, as the one who prepares for your paper, you need to have a strong, compelling evidences, because that is one way to show that you are really real and you have all the information that you could show to them that your case is not weak, but it is a strong one, that it would be approved in the right time, depends on their processing time and which service center has able to serve your state. Like for example, here in Florida, we could have a service center in California or in Vermont or in Chicago or in Miami. It all depends on what forms that you can submit, but most likely it will be the Form I-130, the petition for alien relative, together with the Form I-130A, which is other supporting documents that you could have. All you can think of is in the uscis.gov. Just look at other videos here in the internet, or look at the playlist I have on how I fill out all these forms. You can do this online, or you can do this paper filing. It will be separate fees, but just make sure you can pay this one either through a check or money order. We prefer to have money order. That way we really have the right money and not just relying on credit cards to pay for our very important part of our lives, which is the immigration process, for us to really show our co-mingling and helping me stay here in the US, and from a J1 teacher with 212E rule to your home residency requirement, a non-immigrant from the Philippines, now a legal permanent resident here in the US, just by doing do-it-yourself process with the immigration with the USCIS. Again, for the proofs of marriage for your immigration process with the USCIS, you really need to have marriage certificate, joint bank statements, joint property ownership, joint utility bills. You really need to have marriage certificate, joint financial documents, joint property ownership, joint utility bills, affidavits, letters from friends and family, and other evidences like plane tickets, pictures, wedding photos, cards, you name it. That way you can just have this one as an easy proof of your marriage. When it comes to your cards and letters, you can also take a picture and print it. They don't want it to have bulky things that you will submit to them. They wanted to have precise one. Always put tabs and label that one on top of each document that you have. That way it's easy for your case handler to see what are the evidences you have, and it's easy for them to scan, and it's easy for them to look at your papers, and they would really appreciate it. In your paper, you could also have your cover letters. If you wanted to see our cover letter for our Form I-130 and all other forms, please visit POWELLFULCOUPLEJOURNEY.com. That way you will have ideas on how to do it with letters from friends and family. That way you could draft the information that you could support your details, and then just let your friends sign this one that is really pertaining to your love story and how you were able to have your relationship here in the US as a real couple. Your proofs of marriage in the immigration should have included as well with proof of relationship, your driver's license, your tax returns, joint vehicle properties, birth certificates, US visas that you have, your DS 2019 if you have, your Form I-94, which is your arrival document here in the US, joint mortgage or lease documents, your joint utility bills, joint bank accounts, and other things that you can think of that will support your claim of your proof of marriage to the USCIS. If you have gained ideas and see value to this video, please consider to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Powerful Couple Journey. That way we could spread a lot of information throughout the internet, that there is one channel who is willing to help and share ideas to you when it comes to the do-it-yourself immigration process from a non-immigrant from the Philippines to the US. I am so thankful that you are here, hoping to see you in my next video. God bless, and you have a great day.